All right, hello, and we are back. Welcome back to the channel. Happy to have everybody. Today is February 13th, and we are starting to get into these MLB position player rankings for 2026. Um, this is going to be only starting catchers, so we're not going to do any backups. Maybe if there's one that's notable, I'll give it a mention and maybe give it a spot on the list. But these are all the 2026 catchers as of right now, as I was able to pull. And we're going to do all the positional rankings, and then we'll include it with either a top 50 or top 100 or a ranking of my top 50 players and a tier list. We'll see how it looks as we get a little bit closer, but happy to have everybody here today. Sorry if you hear me take a slight break. It's because I'm taking a sip of coffee. And let's go ahead and start this ranking by going over the ranks. Number one, top tier. Little bit of a teaser. There's only going to be one guy in it. It's Cake by the Ocean, right? What that ever famous, really, really annoying song, Cake by the Ocean. I think we know why and who is going to be in there. In the second tier, I hate big butts, and I cannot lie. Pretty straightforward. These people would, these players would be in contention for that number one spot if it wasn't for the fella with the big butts. 2021, your being Mercedes, in parentheses, the first half. First half, your being Mercedes 2021 when he was pimping homers, hitting 3-0, hitting 3-0 lobs from position players. Put up a great first half with the White Sox. And he's kind of like that one hit wonder, but we're not doing it based off of one hit wonder. We're just doing it based off of that great of a player, right? Um, Next one is It's Complicated. You know the song? I forgot exactly how it goes, but it's like It's Complicated. Like that one. Um, you're a little bit of a complicated player. You probably end up somewhere near average. You have some good tools, have some bad tools. I like to even use this tier for a lot of like offensive first catchers that can't play defense, right? Can't find first base. Pretty simple. Um, there are sometimes some of these catchers hit some singles and home runs and often don't hit enough of them to be able to know where first base is. It's hard to find. One that immediately comes to mind is my grandfather was a huge Rays fan growing up, and whenever um, we would watch games, we would make this joke every time Jose Molina would get a single. It's like, oh shit, where's first base? Because he doesn't get there very often. This is 2021 Mercedes second half. Pretty simple. He was really bad and he got cut. Tale of two seasons here, but this means you're not very good. And this is a skinnier Molina for the very last year. Now I want to make this very clear. I am not talking about Yadier. I am talking about Benji and Jose, and especially towards the end of their career, where you only provide some niche defensive value um, and little offensive value, and you kind of really don't do much else other than that. And I said skinnier Molina because nobody is bigger than the Molinas. That's just not possible. If there is somebody on here that's in that tier, we'll rename it after. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Top 30 catcher rankings 2026. Let's go in alphabetical order here. In terms of teams, we've got Shea Bangaliers. Right now, he's going to be in 2021 Yuri Mercedes. You can make an argument for it's complicated, right? I mean, he has a really strong arm, can throw out runners, but it's that bat. It's that bat that absolutely carries him. 30 home runs and overall great season. I think about 260, 270 average. I expect major growth from him, surrounded by that lineup in 2026, especially if they're still playing at that same ballpark. Excuse me, playing in that same ballpark. I expect him to do nothing but mash over there. I think that another big thing to look at is the pitching in the American League West, in my opinion, has gotten worse. So, somebody where you're playing 48 of your 162 games, and half of those being in this ballpark, I think he's going to have a massive year. I'm a huge Shea Langeliers fan. Now, let me make this very clear. This is for 2026. This is a projection. I do not care what you did in previous years, although I'll use it to guess for future production or to monitor, use it. Well, I can't think of the word, but use it to show what I believe can happen in the future. But it's not a 2025 ranking, so you guys are going to be pretty shocked when I rank Adley Rutschman in 2021 Yermin Mercedes with Shea Langeliers. I think Adley's gonna have a bounce back year. I think if you look at the Orioles as a whole, a lot of them had bad and down years, especially after those first couple months when they started off so slow. And Adley did pick it up a little bit in the second half. Obviously, still not a great year. Let's call a spade and be honest here. But I love Adley Rutschman as a player. And I think he eventually drops switch hitting to go lefty, but I think overall he's gonna be fine. He's gonna rebound on the defensive side. I think he's gonna come into camp a little bit more a little bit better shape this year. I'm really excited for what Adley Rutschman has to show. Narvaez, I think he was a rookie. If he wasn't, he was pretty close. Or not pretty close. He was a second year guy. I'm having a hard time with him between 2021 Yumi Mercedes, and it's complicated. I think he's going to take a slight step back. I don't think he has the power potential that Shea Langoliers and the overall, encapsulation of a catcher as Adley Rutschman has in terms of being a great catcher and being an above average offensive player. I love Carlos Narvaez. I loved him when he was on the Yankees in their farm system, but I'm going to keep him in. It's complicated for now with the potential to move up if I, start to feel a little bit different about the list. Kyle Teal, he is complicated as well. He had a really great run last year for the White Sox. I thought he managed the pitching staff pretty well, especially for being the White Sox pitching staff. Not everybody can can monitor Davis Martin and Shane Smith and stuff like that. We're also going to go on baseball spot as well. We want to look at some of the defensive stats of these catchers. I have a pretty good idea off the top of my head, but doesn't hurt to look. Kyle Teal, let's see how he graded out defensively because I know he was a pretty good offensive player. Obviously, he didn't have enough plate appearances to qualify, is what it looks like. All right, baseball savant is having a little bit of issues here. All right, we're back. It's having a little bit of issues there. Maybe we won't pull this up. But anyways, I took a brief look. He's fine. I think he came over in the Garrett Crochet trade from the Red Sox. So he's a really good ball player. I expect a good year from him and a lot of other White Sox in the year 2026. Bo Naylor, you're the first one in a skinnier Molina. Um, great defensive catcher. Can't hit at all. He hasn't been able to hit for a couple years. I really wanted him to hit too, especially being with his brother there in Cleveland there for a couple years. He's just never been able to put it together. Slow bat speed. Doesn't really have much pop. And I mean, that's really all I got to say about Bo Naylor. I really hope him well and a good year in 2026, but not not exactly excited for what he has to provide. Dylan Dingler. I'm gonna put him in 2021 year mean Mercedes. I love Dylan Dingler. He hit a lot of homers last year, had a really good offensive season with being elite behind the plate, especially from throwing out runners. Um, he's who I think the Yankees think Austin Wells is, but he's the whole package and more. Dylan Dingler in that 2021 year mean Mercedes first half. category. Yainer Diaz, a little bit interesting of a case study here because he still hit 20 homers every year that he's been in majors. He just, I don't know what's been going on with him. So from an average standpoint, he doesn't walk. He never walked, but he straight up just doesn't walk, and he plays okay defense behind the plate. But you're banking on that offense, so it's a little weird. So I'm going to go in. It's complicated. I do think he can bounce back, but if you're asking for my projection for 2026, I think he sticks around this range. Probably hit close to 20 homers, play okay defense, and still refuse to walk. It's really hard to get these players that have never walked to walk. And it's Javier Baez. You know, that's the case study for that one. Salvador Perez. I hate to do this to Salvi, but again, this is a projection. Don't yell at me. He's going to go. He can't find first base. I think Salvi in the last couple of years, we've kind of seen it as well, where I think he's going to start just selling out for the home run. He has a little defensive value at this point. He could throw out a runner here and there, but his framing is god awful. His blocking is god awful. And, it's Salvi. I actually expect him to transition more of a DH role at some point because I do expect Carter Jensen to start the season as the catcher or at least be on the roster. If Carter Jensen, I'm predicting a 2021 Yermin Mercedes. He's my big, big prediction for 2026 is Carter Jensen's going to be an absolute stud. I fucking love this guy. He has the build of a catcher, the look of a catcher. He looks like he just wants to hit 30 homers. He's awesome. Salvador Perez, he's going to be like Jose Molina, can't find first base. Logan O'Hoppe, this hurts for me. I was a huge Logan O'Hoppe fan, but nothing in his underlying stats show that he's going to be a positive offensive player going forward. So he's going to be in 2021 Yermin Mercedes because he based him and Yermin Mercedes had a very similar um, Logan O'Hoppe's overall year, but Yermin Mercedes first or second half, pretty similar. Both really, really bad. And if he didn't have the pedigree that he had like 2 or 3 years ago, I think he would have. I think he would have been another team or out of the league or something. I just don't feel very confident about Logan O'Hoppe moving forward. And obviously, Logan O'Hoppe provides little to no defensive value, so it's really hard to rank him much higher than this at this point. I think although this is a prediction, I have to see something else before we move him up any sort of tier here. All right, next we got is this Ryan Jeffers? I love Ryan Jeffers. I wanted him on the Yankees. But overall, I think I'm going to expect a little bit of regression from him because of just the play style is a little unsustainable and because you got to take a little bit of risk, right? When you're doing these lists every year, whenever people do these lists, um, I think, let's go on a little bit of a side rant. Whenever people do these lists for, they supposedly rank for 2026, they never take any risks, which is fine. You don't have to take any risks, but there's players that underperform and overperform all the time. And you have to take risks to, I guess to be right. Like, yeah, I might get some wrong here. Adley Rutschman might continue on that trajectory of being bad, and then it would come back to bite me. But I'm taking a risk. And the other thing that I don't like is they take way too much stock into 2025 stats. Like sometimes the player gets hurt, sometimes they have a down year, sometimes you heard stories in the offseason about them being nicked up. So I really, really try to look at the underlying numbers, have a feel, right? How they feel going into the season, the team morale, how he fits into the lineup. Those are things that I'm taking into account. And I think Ryan Jeffers is going to have a major offensive role this year. He's going to be put in the third or fourth slot to hit in. And I don't think that's going to be great for Ryan Jeffers. I just don't. I think he's going to be a good defensive catcher like he always been. And the offense is going to be a little iffy and it's going to be complicated overall. Um, but Ryan Jeffers, I mean, he was under 52% in all key offensive statistics in 2025. in XWOBA, X batting average, X slug, average exit velo, barrel percentage, hard hit percentage, sweet spot percentage. I mean, he was under on below average in every single one. So it's really hard for me to see an offensive profile moving forward if that's what you've shown me so far. Next we have Austin Wells for the New York Yankees. I feel very iffy about this one because he's another Yainer Diaz in a way, right? Um, he is he has 20 homers, but at the same time, he doesn't do much else, right? I mean, he's an elite fielder, an elite framer, and he does some things well offensively. He has decent bat speed, above average barrel percentage, hard hit percentage, and average exit velo. You can call me a little bit of a homer, but I'm going to put him in. It's complicated. You can argue for can't find first base because you can see that, his batting average and everything that goes along with it. It's just kind of low, but he has that pop plus the great defense. Like if you're telling me I get an elite defensive catcher with 20 homers at the end of the year, I feel like it's hard to go anywhere else, but it's complicated. But I think that's kind of why I made the can't find first base tier. So actually, I'm going to put him there. I am going to put him there. I think this is who he is. I don't think he gets much better or much worse. This is who he is, and who I think he's going to be for 2026. But great framer though, 96 percentile on the framer. Um, Yeah, and then we have a guy, he has a whole tier named after him. This is Big Dumper, sits atop the porcelain throne, takes a shit on everybody in this tier list, has cake by the ocean. Because the thing is, if you see him by the ocean, Cal Raleigh, you know it's Cal Raleigh. He has the cake for it, right? I mean, this guy, absolutely amazing player with an amazing season. Ready, big argument to win the 2025 MVP. Obviously, I don't think he repeats that into 2026. But I still think it's very doable for him to get 40 homers and play elite defense and hit 250. If he does that, then and no doubt nobody's going to beat him. You just can't argue it. Great defensive catcher, great hitter. I mean, he was 92nd percentile in xWOBA, 99th in barrel percentage, 96th in X slug, 89th in bat speed. But I think he's going to come down a little bit because the K rate's really low, the whiff rate's really low, the chase rate's really low, expected batting average really low. So I think that brings him down a little bit from the 60 home runs that he had, hitting 250. But overall, there's not many complaints about Kyle Raleigh. I'll take him on my team any day of the week. He is taking a dump on the rest of the competition. I mean, who the fuck is this guy? Wait, is that Nick Fortes? Is that former Marlin Nick Fortes? I mean, he's just a skinnier Molina. I'm not going to spend too much time on Nick Fortes. I don't even know if he qualified for any rank for any baseball savant Statcast rankings because I don't even know if he played enough. I mean, he's awful. I mean, oh my goodness, he's horrible. Yeah, we're not going to talk a lot of time about Nick Fortes. He's trash. The Rays are better playing Jonathan Aranda at catcher and just dealing with the defense at the end of the day. This is Danny Jansen, new catcher for the Texas Rangers. I'm a Danny Jansen fan, but I think he's going to be a can't find first base. I mean, he's going to hit the ball every time he gets into a single to left field. He's going to try to run, not know where first base is, and have to be told by multiple coaches and players. Danny Jansen, I think, is going to sell out a little bit for the home run this year with some decent defense behind the plate. The reason why is because this is kind of who Danny Jansen's always been, except for a couple niche years. I think he's going to hit 2025 homers in Texas. But I think you know what? Basically, this tier is going to be you're going to hit 20 plus home runs, but you're going to fail to eclipse like a 220 or 230 batting average. You're all homer. And Danny Jansen, the past 3 years, has not hit above 230. In fact, 228 is his high. And he's going to hit some homers and no steals. I mean, this guy, once he gets to first base, he never leaves it. So he's 30 now. He's not a good fielder. Yeah, am I putting him too high? No, no, I'm gonna keep him here. He's not. He can't find first base. He cannot find first base. Alejandro Kirk. I'm a lot as high on Alejandro Kirk as anybody else. It's simple. I don't know if the problem is he had a great year for 2025, right? No taking away from him on that. Just a 2025 ranking. He might even be in the second tier, but it's basically about what's sustainable. And I think it's tough because he is an elite catcher behind the plate and an elite. You know what? I'm gonna move him up. Okay, I've convinced myself. He's an elite catcher behind the plate, right? He's 100 percentile in overall failure one value, an elite framer, an elite blocker. I mean, he's wonderful behind the plate. But it was really the hitting that I didn't know if it was sustainable or not, and I really don't think it is. I think he about goes down to like a 730 to 750 OPS this year, which is great, and you'll take from your catcher. You just can't put him in the second tier if you're having 730 to 750 OPS from your catcher. But great player. We're huge Alejandro Kirk fans. Um, Short and stubby, never fat. Hashtag blessed. Gabriel Moreno for the Diamondbacks next. I thought he was going to break out this year. And he did. He had a great year, but not exactly the breakout I was looking for. Always going to be a high average guy with great defense behind the plate. He's like your prototypical modern catcher, I guess, in a way. Just really great behind the plate, really great bat to ball skills. I think everything that every team would love to have on their roster. With that being said, um, he's going to go in. It's complicated for me. What do I project him for? What is the projection for? I think he projects this 2021 to be Mercedes first half. Again, good offensive player. I can't knock him for that. I mean, he hit 285 with 9 homers. Like obviously not a lot of plate appearances. He was hurt and then he came back. But you're hitting, and he's been doing this. He had 284 in 2023, 266 in 2024. So I'm not going to knock him for it. Was a great fielder too in those short amount of games that he played. You know what? I think he's going to be a great player in 2026. He'll be right here with these guys atop this tier. Drake Baldwin. All right, hear me out. He hates big butts, and he's not going to lie about it. He does not like Cal Raleigh. He's going to send him hate mail on his porch. Maybe he'll send other people to send hate mail. Maybe he's going to go there personally to say he doesn't like him. Maybe when he comes up to the plate, he'll just spit on his cleats a little bit. Drake Baldwin is a great player. I thought well-deserved Rookie of the Year in 2025. I could not have been happier from what I saw from him. Was a great offensive player. I mean, he's above the 81st percentile in all of these statistics. X slug, X WOBA, expected batting average, average exit velo, hard hit percentage, bat speed, whiff percentage, K percentage. I mean, this guy is an elite offensive player from the catcher position. You can't beat it. And as a catcher, he's a little bit he's average. He's average. So if you give me elite offense with an average catcher behind the plate, you're going to go here. And guess what? That's just in 2025. I project him to get better. I think he's going to be an even better offensive player and an even better defensive player because I believe in this kid so much. Again, I'm taking some swings, and like nobody else wants to do on their tier list. This is where I'm going to have Drake Baldwin for the 2026 season. Carson Kelly, I actually this is going to be very emblematic of the 2021 second half year me Mercedes. He had a great year, right? This is gonna be over 2 years now. So that's 2 halves. Great first year. We know Carson Kelly is a player. Let's not kid ourselves. I know he had great percentile rankings over the board. I know it. I'm taking a huge swing that he is going to be bad. We've just seen too much of Carson Kelly to think he's going to be good. I think he's bad. Look at him. He looks bad. He looks like a coach. This is like a coach profile picture. I mean, no people looking at Carson Kelly thinking he's a baseball player. Maybe a linebackers coach in the NFL. We're going to keep him there. I don't want to spend too much time on Carson Kelly. I'm not a fan. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan. Does anybody know who this is? This isn't Tyler Steve. Is this Tyler Stevenson? That's not what Tyler Stevenson looks like. Is it? I have to look up Reds catcher. Oh my God, that is Tyler Stevenson. Okay, I thought Tyler Stevenson looked a little well. Um, okay, this is Tyler. This can't be Tyler Stevenson. We're gonna rank him as if it's Tyler Stevenson. Um, let's call a spade, right? He did not have a great offensive year last year. His it's just because of that massive K rate that he has. But if he cuts down the K rate, he'll be better. So that's why for the 2026 season, I think he's going to be in. It's complicated. I think he gets back to an average catcher because I'll be honest, the fielding is not great, but his batting overall value is about 50%. In that 50 percentile, straight bang on average, and that's with a 90% barrel percentage, an 84% on hard hit percentage, a 98% sweet spot percentage. I love him. I think he's great. I wanted him years ago, but I just hope that he can make more contact because he does not make a lot of contact right now. And he's missing a lot in the zone too. That's what's huge. That's how you kind of get a little murky when projecting these players when they're missing a lot inside the strike zone. You never want to see that as a Major League Baseball player. Um, so we're going to keep him there and for 2026. Hunter Goodman, I project a little bit of a fall down. I think the offense is going to be hard to replicate from 2025. I think just the batted ball profile that he has. And I know he's in Colorado and it's going to work because he's in Colorado. And I completely understand that. Like, I think most people are going to have him above here. But for the 2026 season, like, we have a decent sample size of him not being that great. Like, his expected batting average was low. He's exceeding all these numbers. His K rate is garbage. His walk rate is garbage. His whiff rate is garbage. Chase rate garbage. Squared up percentage garbage. I mean, it sounds like he got a little lucky in 2025. Being an average catcher is not bad though. I think he comes back down to earth. I think he's going to hit 240. I want somebody to clip this. 240 with 23 home runs, 78 RBIs, and playing fine defense. And guess what? That's an average catcher. I think that gets you right here in the it's complicated tier. So I think Hunter Goodman's gonna have a good year, not a great year in 2026. While we're here, actually, I'm gonna move Shea Langoliers up to I hate big butts and I cannot lie. Shout out. Um, he's just too good. I don't know why I put him down there. I think he's only gonna get better. Shame on me. Shame on me. Will Smith. I mean, this guy's awesome. I really want to hate this guy, but I just can't. I hate big butts and I cannot lie. Just because nobody's Cal Raleigh. But if you had to rank these in the tier, which we're not, do it here. He's easily the best um, out of this tier. Will Smith is he's amazing. He's only 30 years old. If he felt it's kind of felt like he's been on the Dodgers for like 25 years, but he just hits every single year. Every single year. Listen, I'm a huge defensive guy. You'll know that on this channel. You'll see that from my rankings. When you hit like let me go back. When you hit like Will Smith does on a night to night basis as a catcher, hitting a fucking 296 with 17 home runs and a 900 OPS. I don't care what your defense is. I do not care. I do not care that he's 10th percentile. I don't care that he can't frame anything. I don't care that he can't block anything. He can throw out runners. That's all he needs. I just don't believe that the defense should weigh this much when your offense is as good as this guy. He is a 75th percentile or higher in every single batting metric that Baseball Savant owns, except for bat speed. And he doesn't even need the good bat speed because he has a 900 OPS. It just does not matter. And he's awesome. He's going in my second tier. Sorry, I got a little heated there about Will Smith. I apologize. Me and Will Smith. people disrespect us. Like it's I don't like that people disrespect us as players, right? Both former catchers in the bigs. Is this Augustine Ramirez? I mean, this guy's not even a catcher. To me, at least. To me, he's not a catcher. He's more. I think he'll be a DH, and then they're going to have somebody else catch. But since he is here on the catcher tier list, again, he had 700 OPS last year. He had fine batted ball statistics. He had obviously a really, really good bat speed, but the rest of it's just kind of average. I think he's going to be a 20. We'll say he's average. I think he can be average. I like him as an offensive player, but man, no, his defense is so piss poor. I can't put him. I can't put him there. It's awful. I don't think he can be a catcher. That's the thing. It's like you can't have a 700 OPS as a DH. Like it kind of works the catcher, but he plays awful catcher. If he does play catcher, which I hope he doesn't, he can't block. He can't throw anybody out. He's a decent framer. I mean, it's not very good. I'm going to leave him there for now, and this is what I project him because I also project him as a DH. But if he's a catcher, like I said, like we are predicting here, this is where I predict him if he plays a full season at catcher. So just want to make that clear. William Contreras, a slight down year, but I don't care. But he's in I hate big butts, and I cannot lie. William Contreras is came over in that famous Braves deal that I think sent Sean Murphy to the Braves. I mean, the Braves gave up a generational catching prospect. He was horrible at defense when he was with the Braves. Now he's with the Brewers, and all he does is play elite defense every single year. He's an elite hitter. I mean, on a down year last year, 260 with a 17 home runs and 750 OPS when he's been 800 OPS every single year. I think he gets up to 850, 860 OPS. You can also make a case for Cake by the Ocean because he does have some cake. Look up a picture on your free time. I don't want to get banned, but he is going to have a great year in 2026, in my opinion. When you pair the elite fielder with the elite walk rate and the elite offensive profile, because he's always going to have a high OPS and a high on base because he does walk. I'm obsessed with him for 2026. And look at that. He sprints for you to 21st percentile. He's just like Cal Raleigh. His big butt slows him down a little bit. It kind of has some extra baggage, some extra tonnage, if you were Cal Raleigh. Is that Francis? That is Francisco Alvarez. It looked like Tomas Nido for a second. That was a little kind of threw me off a little bit. Francisco Alvarez, really weird story in 2025, right? Was bad and then was good. Well, he was bad, I got sent down, and then was good when he came back up because he had injuries, and then it was a really, really weird season. Had a good second half. I like Francisco Alvarez moving forward. I think the offensive profile is going to stick. Obviously has good bat speed. You saw the way he swings. Good average exit velo. But he does K and whiff and chase a lot. So it's a little scary. From year to year, those guys typically tend to fluctuate a ton. Um, and I'm going to have, again, another bold prediction for 2026. I think he's going to be in the can't find first base. I think he's going to kind of be a home run or nothing because I think this profile is what Francisco Alvarez has been and what some of these other players have been too. The high whiff, high K, high chase, at low expected batting average, but high bat speed type of player. They often do hit a lot of home runs, not much else. And even last, he really has never had a high batting average in his career. So I think he hits a lot of homers and not like much else other than some singles. And if you want to touch on his defense is really bad. So he can't block, not a good framer, and he's slightly above average in throwing batters out. I don't understand how people have him ranked so high on their boards based off of like a 50 game sample. It just doesn't really make much sense to me. Next on the list is old ass JT Realmuto. Phillies signed to a 3-year deal. I think they're regretting that. I think we're going to see a 2021 year mean Mercedes second half for JT Realmuto. It's pretty simple. Um, he's not very good, right? I don't think I think that's completely fair at this point. Um, he can't play a lick of defense, right? Let's just call it how it is. He's horrible. He can't frame. He can't block. He can throw a lot of runners. He's the best at doing it, but he can't do a majority of what the catcher position has. He's not a great offensive player anymore. He's below average. He has below a 50th percentile on expected WOBA, expected batting average, expected slug, barrel percentage, whiff percentage, bat speed, chase percentage, K percentage, walk percentage. I mean, he doesn't do anything well except for get a little, hard hit sweet spot every once in a while. But I mean, he's not a good player. He's just and I don't really care about his one base running runs on Baseball Savant. I just don't really care. And he's getting older. I really, really am struggling to see why people on their tier list of catchers put him anything higher than that. I'm really, I'm having a hard time seeing that. I don't understand. And he's 35 now. So I'm going to take I don't think it's a bold prediction for 2026. I'm going to put him in 2021, second half year me Mercedes. He just doesn't have anything good that I'm looking forward to or anything that I can see that can look better in 2026. Joey Bart. He's going to be a skinnier Molina. I'm not really going to talk about him too much. It's Joey Bart. Let's move on. Freddie Fermin. He's also going to be a skinnier Molina. Doesn't hit, but he plays good defense. And I understand. I understand that when we're talking about some of these players. Some of these players might have, you know what? I'm moving the tiers on the fly. Skinnier Molina is going above 2021 year Mercedes because these guys can't play defense or hit. So I think these guys can at least play a little bit of defense. Freddie Fermin and Joey Bart. I don't care. Joey Bart was the last tier. I'm so sorry, Joey Bart and his family. I'm sure he's watching. Sorry, I take a sip of coffee. He has not been good. Joey Fart. I mean, this guy every time he hits it, his exit velocity is so low, it's like he farts on the baseball. Not good. Put him in the bottom tier. I'm gonna save Patrick Bailey for last because I think he's gonna be very controversial with everybody. So I want to save him for last to keep you watching. Um, Cardinals create a player. He kind of looks like my dad. Is that my dad? Um, Is this Ivan Herrera or is this Pedro Pajes or Yohel Pozo or hold on, let me do some quick research. Is that Yohel Pozo? No. Who's the other catcher then? Who's the other catcher? Who the fuck is this? All right, we'll save him for last too because I don't know who he is. Actually, it's a Cardinals catcher. I don't project him very well, whoever it is. Wait. Who's the other guy? It's what did I say? Yohel Pozo, Ivan Herrera, and damn, I already said him. We'll put him in a skating arena. I'm sure he can defend, and I'm sure that's all I can do. K-Bear Ruiz. This is another case study. I don't know why people have him ranked? I've seen some catcher tier lists online, and people, I don't know if they have a little bit of prospect hype or something, but he can't do like anything. Like he's really bad. He goes to the bottom tier. He's horrible. He can't hit. He can't play defense. He has no power. The good thing he does is he doesn't strike out, but that's like all he doesn't do is he does everything else on the baseball field horribly. He probably puts on his cleats on the wrong foot, probably puts his belt on backwards. Maybe he's the definition of can't find first base because he never makes it there. But he doesn't do anything else to deserve to even get there with those guys. So we're going to leave him there. Miguel Amaya, we're going to keep him in Skinner Molina. Not too much time on Miguel Amaya. Good defensive guy. I don't see a lot of offensive upside moving forward. We'll leave him there. Henry Davis, former first overall pick, I believe, in the 2021 draft. If am I thinking correct? Um, Henry Davis, man, this is so iffy. I project Henry Davis? I think he can do something in 2026. I think he can. The problem is how much, right? I mean, he has decent bat speed, but that's basically it. Like he's a decent defender, but I'll put him in camp line first base. I think he might take a little bit of a jump this year and hit some homers maybe. That's probably about it, but I don't think he can do much more than that at this point. But I think he'll be surrounded by a little bit better of a lineup. So maybe he's able to get some better pitchers to hit in that lineup. And now with Brandon Lau and Ryan O'Hearn and guys like that. I don't know why Dalton Rushing's on here because the Dodgers already have a catcher on here, but I guess we'll rank him. I mean, I'd probably rank him the outfielder deals before here because I don't think he's going to play any catcher. Um, I think he's going to be average just because every player that plays for the Dodgers is at least average. There's not many bad ones. That's really my only reasoning. Dodgers have a curse. Luis Campusano, again, I don't know why he's on here. We had Freddie Fermin already. We'll put him in a Skinny Molina. I don't think he does it. No, he's in last year. Is there anybody else that I am forgetting? Or any other backups worth mentioning? I'm just going through the teams in my head. I think that's it. Yeah, except for Patrick Bailey. Now, this is basically what the Scamalina tier was made for. However, I need you guys to look at some of these numbers, some of these defensive numbers. I don't care. I hate big butts, and I cannot lie. What's the trademark of the catcher position? I'm gonna take a stand here. I'm taking a stand. Oh man, I can't have to wait and have arguments with you guys. Patrick Bailey is the best defender in Major League Baseball, not even close. He had 31 runs saved on defense. 31. The next closest was 22. He had 9 runs better than anybody else because his defense is so good. And he's good at everything. He's good at blocking, framing, caught stealing, pop time. I know some people are going to say that the framing is going to go away now that we have ABS, and that's just not true. I don't know why people are saying that. You only get a couple a game. You use it, you win, you keep going. But Patrick Bailey, let's just say he has 45 attempts to frame a pitch a game. That's not true, but let's just say 45. ABS would take away like 5 or 6 of them. He still has so many opportunities to frame pitches because guys are just not going to frame or are going to use ABS on every single ball. It's just not going to happen. It can't happen. You only have a certain amount of it. He is going to be great, and I project a slight increase offensively. Now, with that being said, he was horrible offensively last year. So when I say a step, I'm talking about like a 650 OPS. And if he can get to a 650 to 680 OPS, which is below average, he might be up there with Cal Raleigh because that's how valuable of a defender he is. His ability to manage a pitching staff that always overperforms because I mean the Giants have nothing in that rotation, and they still finished decently last year. I mean, you could say a lot of it was Logan Webb. I get it, but this guy, he does so much work for the Giants. I'm standing and dying on this hill. You all can suck it, and I'm putting Patrick Bailey in the second tier. Here is my catcher's tier list. I hope you guys enjoyed watching. Let me know if I missed anybody, any rankings you changed. And please, 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 please keep in mind, I took some shots. This is a ranking for 2026. I need to take some shots. Guys always surprised. If you had told me last year that Drake Baldwin would be in this tier, I'd be lying. I'd be calling you a liar. But you got to take some risks, right? So here's my list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And what should I do? Let me know which position I should do next.